Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's a beautiful Monday morning here in Los Angeles.
Well, let's qualify that.
Yeah.
So it is actually a nice day here where we are in the South Bay of Los Angeles. But if you go about 15 miles to the north, there's a big fire raging in the Brentwood area, in
Santa Clarita.
Lots of fires going. And that kind of got us thinking about a topic for today, which is, are you prepared for an emergency? Especially if you live here in California, right?
Yeah, so this morning I was watching the TV and it made me think that, wow, if anything happens here, like an earthquake or flood or, well, I guess fire.
Yeah, so we're in California. Earthquake, flood, fire.
What would we do and how we would just kind of react, and are we prepared? I'm certainly not prepared. Are you prepared?
Well, we're married, right? So we live in the same house, and we are not prepared
whatsoever.
So let's
so
start.
It made me think of us
right.
to kind of start thinking about
right.
it, or have some sort of emergency exit or plan.
So in the fire that's now raging, in fact, I'm looking to the north now. Oh, we're on our veranda, by the way, here at the worldwide headquarters of the Pier Group.
It's my European zen.
Right. But I'm looking to the north, and I can see the smoke clouds.
Yeah.
It's a very gray cloud.
So this fire bursted in the Brentwood area.
Right, 1 in the morning.
1 in the morning. So people were evacuating like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. To me, this wow.
So 10,000 homes are being evacuated, right?
Yeah.
So that's 10,000 families, and that's just our little fire here in the south, in Los Angeles. There's other fires going on. There's fires like right now in Northern California, and all we need to do to make this the triumph of disaster is an earthquake.
Yeah.
Why would that could happen?
Exactly.
But preparation. So we want to kind of remind people to be prepared, and the simple stuff is.
But how you get prepared? So what do you do?
But let's talk about the simplest things.
Yes, the simplest thing.
So you get the notice from the fire department or someone at your door saying you need to evacuate. There's a fire coming.
Right.
Do you have access to your paperwork that you need? That's part one, right? Your passports, your bank information. Do you have that somewhere in your kind of a go bag that you can grab and get out of the house with
I
it?
think everybody should have a go bag, especially if you have kids.
Right.
So I think that's number one, to have a
So
go
let's
bag
define
with
a go bag.
emergency outfits.
Big bag that's packed with?
Well, not big, size of a bag that you can
carry,
actually carry.
Yeah.
So packed with, the kids should have a backpack ready.
Right.
And I think us should have a small either backpack or luggage.
Right.
With just, basic outfits, long pants, short pants,
a jacket of some kind, right?
Jacket, sweater.
Small first aid kit.
Exactly.
Right.
Some extra shoes, maybe 2 pairs of shoes.
But it's all simple stuff. The point is
water,
right.
A lot of water.
Lots of water. But the point is, in the throes of an emergency, you're going to be panicked, and will you have the kind of mindset?
And it's not just that. So the number one would be, I think, a bag. Number two would be, the paperwork, whatever you need, on you, cash, extra cash, and some,
So at minimum, you need to have a few $100s kind of stuck away somewhere.
Number three, you need to think of your animals. So if you have animals like cats, dogs, any sort of snake, I don't know, whatever you have, you need to have an emergency place that you can actually take the animals.
Right.
So, okay, if it's a fire, I would think that I would definitely have some friends out of the area that I can just kind of call in the middle of the night and get them ready in the fall season or in the fire season.
Right.
And especially when the fire starts to kind of, the season starts, then just kind of have a relationship with that. Reach out your friend look, if it's an emergency, can I just come to you for the night?
So you're saying have a friend out of the area who you can go to if you need to.
Yes, because
Family,
in the middle
friend,
of the night,
right.
In the middle of like this, so this is what made me think of this, that these people had to evacuate at like 2 a.m.
Right.
They can't go to a hotel. Can you go to a hotel? Like which hotel even?
Well, what happens is all the local hotels get booked quickly.
Right. Yeah. So clearly that's not gonna work. So for that moment of time, like a friend, you can just call up in the middle of the night and just say, look, I need to get out of my house. Can I just come, for the night?
Right.
So that's very important to kind of line up. The number.
Let's start with number one. Go bag of some sort. Money, paperwork. There's the top 3 items, right?
Yeah, emergency friend.
Emergency friend. Somebody who you've agreed with that's out of your 5-mile maybe radius
and
that
then
you go to.
And then just, I think, prep yourself to line up with a hotel or some sort of accommodation for like a week.
Right.
Just for like an emergency, where would you go, which is close to your kind of work, close to your maybe schools, but then not in your neighborhood. Right. So think of that. Then animals, very important. I mean, all these people, they had to evacuate horses in the middle of the night.
Right.
That's, to me, is like super stressful.
Right.
Line up their vans and drivers and even just the places to go.
Right.
So if you have, pets, small pets, I think it's very easy nowadays. Most hotels accommodate small pets, but bigger
especially
pets,
during an emergency, I think they'll make some exceptions to.
But
to get you
50,
in.
60, 80-pound animals, those you need to kind of think of some sort of emergency. And the emergency would not be like one place to think about. You need to line up. Okay, these are the 5 places that I'm going to call the next day. I need
are
to
you, Diana Roberts,
evacuate.
going to go home tonight or even today and lay your go plan out? For fire, earthquake, flood.
But earthquake is a little different because maybe you can't even get out of your neighborhood.
Right.
So that scares me the most, I think. The
so
earthquake.
let's get to the earthquake, right? So we're going to talk first about, let's finish the fire topic.
Yeah.
As I said, we're sitting here on our veranda, and we can smell smoke.
Yes.
It's 15 miles away, but the air is pretty heavy with smoke right now.
I know.
The schools are all locked down, right? The schools are locked down. The kids can't go outside because the air quality is so bad. And it's a huge deal. I think there's already been 5 or 6 structures destroyed in that community.
Yeah.
And it they went to bed with no problem. These families went to bed at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
And by 3 a.m. they had to move out.
By 3 a.m. a huge disaster.
So it's very scary.
Right.
And then the other thing what made me think of is electric cars. Like if you have a Tesla, for instance.
Oh, that's a great point.
Or like a car that you need charge.
Right.
Like where you go and charge it.
Well, there are Tesla charging stations,
I know,
right?
but then your family is like waiting until you charge. So that's also another
But think about
thing.
that. Those stations are set up with 1, 2, or 3 usually.
Right.
Maybe there's 10 if it's a supercharging station.
Exactly.
But if every Tesla owner is suddenly pushed out of Brentwood and out of the expensive areas where these people live, where are they going to charge?
So clearly, if wherever you go, it needs to have an electric charger.
Right. Or you got to take your gas car.
Or you need to take your gas car.
Yeah, the Tesla stays in the burning house.
But that absolutely made me think of like, oh my God,
Right.
what happens if both of you have electric cars?
Well, power outages, right? That goes with, it's hand in hand with the fire.
But that's the other thing,
Right.
yeah.
So power
definitely.
outages, big deal. And the electric cars we all see around us may not be going very far.
Exactly. So all these things, but we take it for granted, and you never think of it. Like, wow, if it's the middle of the night I have to move out of my house and it happened,
right?
What would you do?
But
You lived through 2 earthquakes. in your life.
Every earthquake we've had. I lived in the Bay Area during the huge earthquakes up there. We've lived here. We haven't had a big one here really, but it's coming. That's the same thing with fires. The 2 things we know about earthquakes and fires. It's not if they'll happen, it's when they happen. Because they're going to happen. That's what we have by choosing to live. The expense we have for living in 72 and sunny is the hidden danger of earthquakes and fire.
So I think the earthquake is obviously a whole different topic, but in the same time, what makes me think of it right away is it's not necessarily evacuating.
Well, it depends on how bad it is.
How bad it is,
Right.
but if it happens, in your area, you cannot evacuate the neighborhood immediately. So then you may be stuck in your home, right?
Right.
So then what you need to get is basically food for a week.
Right, so that's the point,
water,
right? You could have
food.
The power could be off for a week easily.
Exactly.
Big
so
earthquake.
you have obviously your basic stuff there, your clothes and everything, but then again food. So you need to have supplies tucked away in your garage, especially I think water is super important, and canned food, pasta. But if you don't have gas, then you can make pasta. So
you can have a little gas butane stove set up. So camping gear, there should be a little setup of camping gear.
Camping
water,
gears, yeah.
A little butane stove.
Yeah.
Flashlights, make sure they have 10-year lithium batteries.
Yeah.
A lantern possibly.
And then
blankets, all these things that you can still be just fine.
And I think
But water is an issue.
Yeah.
Do you know where the secret place to get water from? If in an emergency, besides your toilets, where can you get some water?
I don't know.
Your water heater. Your water heater has 50 gallons. If you don't have tankless, you have a 50-gallon tank that has fresh water in it. So if you need it, you can get it there.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew you didn't know that. But a lot of us people who live in some of the higher value neighborhoods, the water heater is kind of a thing of the past. We're seeing mostly tankless where you don't have that. So sometimes if it's a bad earthquake,
So at the bad earthquake when you live in the Bay Area,
right.
What did you do for the immediate days?
The immediate days, we had no power. In where I was in Palo Alto. We had no power for about 24 hours.
So you stayed in Palo Alto?
We stayed in Palo Alto. So there was no power. The roads were damaged, so the major highways had damage.
So you couldn't get out necessarily?
You could. There were different roads, but the highways were damaged. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get through the city, and parts of 280, which is a major thoroughfare, mm-hmm. Was also damaged. But 101 was fine, so you could get out. But the traffic was horrible.
Yeah.
And there was just so much chaos going on that, again, it could have been a lot worse. But the chaos limits what you do, which is what the idea of planning. When you plan ahead, you have the go bag, and you have
So what would you have planned? Like you would think of an area where you would fly to? You just need to get to the airport, and then just catch the first flight? Or
well, luckily, earthquakes, or unluckily, are usually relatively localized, right? So
yes.
they tend to be...
But it's local, so it's not like you can move to a hotel, which is like a mile from your area.
Well, you can. You just need to get to it, right? So you can say, if the earthquake's Los Angeles, maybe you travel to Riverside.
Right, or Palm Springs, or maybe San Diego,
right.
I don't know.
But the idea we're really talking about is preparedness, right? So it doesn't really matter where you choose to go. Are you prepared with the thought, if you're in a situation where your home can't be lived in, it's damaged, where you need to get out quickly, and maybe it's an earthquake, then a fire. That happens all the time. Right. Are you prepared to get out and go somewhere and keep your family safe? Your children, do you have all their information ready to go? Hospital information, doctor information.
Emergency kit.
Right. Your own first aid kit. Are you prepared for basic first aid?
It's a really important topic now. Oh my God.
I got you scared?
It's actually, it's scary.
Yeah. So because we're so well prepared. Now, the good news is I have a very minor background in first aid, and I feel like a doctor because I do read the internet, and I can diagnose almost anything.
You are the Google doctor.
I am. Almost everything that we Google does lead to death. Which is the sad thing. You have a freckle. Oh, cancer. You're dying.
Yeah, there you go.
But you may not have. It's possible your cell phones will be down. Earthquake, really possible. Cell phones are down.
Yeah.
Electricity is down. Can't recharge. So the same issue. Charging your electric car, getting your phones working.
I mean, I guess if I really have to move out, probably we're gonna go back to Europe, obviously. But we need to get to the airport and catch the first flight
a funny thing.
Out of
Okay, so
US.
here's the upside for realtors. The best time for realtors to get, or for people to buy property, is after a huge earthquake. Mm-hmm. Property values dip because there are people who do that. They say, I am out of here. Yeah. Once you experience a big earthquake, it's an experience you'll never forget, and it's not something you probably want to live with again. So a lot of people do leave the state.
What about fire? What about...
Humans are dumb. We say, okay, that fire's over, I'll rebuild. And we put the house right back in the fire zone, and every 40 years, they're going to have another fire. So the fire that's happening today, I think 7 years ago, there was a huge fire in the same location.
Not even that. One of on social media, I saw an agent in the West Side. Their listing is gone.
Right.
And next door is a new construction. So literally people build a brand new home,
right.
An absolute fire zone, and now the next door is gone. Which
but that just shows to the optimistic nature of humans.
Yeah.
You're told, hey, this house is haunted, and you move it anyway.
That's true.
Some people hear the ghost and they say, oh, I got to get out of here. But the average human will say, oh, I can live with that.
Yeah.
So in this case, there's going to be a big earthquake. There's going to be devastation. There's going to be a fire, most likely, if you live in any of our foothills. And yet, people stay.
Yes, I know.
And they don't just stay, they overbuild. And you look at some of the homes that are built on hillsides. How crazy do you have to be to build a home on a hillside?
Yeah.
Where there's erosion. We have erosion. So we have earthquakes and erosion. We do it.
I know. So let's go back to the question. The question is that, are you prepared?
So are you
prepared? And your
Odds
family?
Are no.
And
I know one family.
At least have the thought process of what if, and just kind of think it through. That what if 3 a.m. I have to evacuate? Where would I go?
So your garage, you should have. Again, we don't have it. There should be a shelf that has, enough water for a week. You should have enough canned food for a week.
Yeah.
Enough stuff that if anything happens, you're prepared. And I know one family who has water.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
One family.
Yeah.
And I think REI and big stores, they sell these huge emergency kit. They come in big buckets, and each bucket is for one person per week.
I
So
see.
you can go that route too. So if you just go online and look up, disaster preparedness kits, they can
Or
be
just
purchased.
even know where are the shelters in your area.
Well, sometimes you don't know, right? They put them.
Yeah, but usually there are usual suspects, and just to kind of line out.
Right.
So anyway, the question is really, take a moment, think through, get prepared, think
Lay a plan
about
out,
it,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
lay a plan out for you and your family. And hopefully, you're never gonna be in the emergency evacuation zone. But if that happens,
No,
especially if
you're saying it wrong.
leave,
You are going to be. It is going in each of our lifetimes.
I'm positive that I
I'm
don't
telling
have
you,
to be.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
10,000 families just 15 miles that way
Yeah. No,
are
that's true.
experiencing something. They wouldn't have bought those homes if they thought this would happen to them.
Right.
So they're all reevaluating. Am I on the right street?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Alrighty.
that's our topic for today.
See you next week.
Next week, same time, same bat channel.